Hey guys, today I've got a around $500 budget build. I'm going to be featuring the G4560. Been wanting to do this for quite some time, but I have had the hardest time finding it in the States. I was finally able to get it. I'm really excited for it, and I have so much plans for it, so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm doing it a little bit different than a lot of others. I'm not going strictly the most budget everything. Not like a single cheap sticker RAM or anything. Thankfully, a lot of this I've had laying around, so I'm not breaking the bank trying to make some videos for you guys. But I did part everything out and priced everything, so I know it's around 500 bucks. The thing that I like the best about this, other than a lot of the other $500 budget builds you see out there, is I am using a Z270 unlocked motherboard. Yes, it costs a little bit more, and it did take away from the budget of the graphic card, and I know there's a lot of argument back and forth on that one, but I'm a big believer of buy what you can afford and upgrade later. And I mean, yeah, it would be nice to drop $2,000 on a beautiful computer, but you know, it's not always the option. Sometimes $500 is pretty easy to get, and it'll get you by. You take that computer and you have a $60, $65 processor. You can eventually save up to put a $300 i7 in there or whatever you want, and because you thought ahead, you got the Z270, you're able to overclock it as well. For this, I also have a used GTX 962 gig, which is $100 all day long on eBay. Some Corsair case, I don't remember what the name of it is. MSI Mortar Z270M, 8 gigs of 3000 megahertz DDR4, a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue, and a 500 watt EVGA. You didn't see that. A 500 watt EVGA power supply. Yeah, like I said, it's I could have put the budget elsewhere, but $100 used 960 is just as good as, it's actually better than a brand new RX 460, which is what you're going to get at that price. I could have gotten a cheap H110 board and gotten an RX 470, which I know is the price performance king right now, but I didn't feel like it. I knew that the 960 does compare pretty well to it. It's not as good as the RX 470 by any means, but it does hold its own on games. Eventually, I'll probably even use the same system for another video of upgrading it and showing, you know, what upgrade paths you have, what have you. But for now, go ahead and watch me build it, and I'm going to put it together, do a bunch of benchmarks, and probably not finish this video for a couple days. But for now, like I said, watch me build it. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot to hit record probably several times. When I'm editing it, I'll probably put some voiceover or whatever. There's no real LEDs in here, there's some orange fans in the front, that's what that little bit of glow is, but I probably forgot to hit record at least 3 or 4 times. I have had probably 4 or 5 drinks, so I guess it happens. I'm going to go ahead and benchmark this thing. I mean, building it isn't the most interesting thing, I guess, but I will be benchmarking this and doing a bunch of tests in the next day or two, and I will finish this video and post it as soon as I can. Alright, so teleport a couple of days ahead. I benchmarked everything, I built everything, I forgot to hit record a couple of times. It's done, it's awesome, it's great, it's upgradable, and here are the benchmarks. So I guess conclusion time. Yeah, you probably could have gotten H110. You could have put a cheaper graphic card in there, and you could have made it a $350 build. You could have, instead of putting in that 960, you bought a brand new 1060 with the money that you save from everything, and you have a pretty solid rig. But that's not really the point of this budget build. That's kind of what I see a lot on. Sorry, my camera went dark. So I see that a lot. You know, there's a lot of theory crafting out there where they get benchmarks off of other people where they don't know if it's real or not. They kind of put computers together, not understanding that there might be an issue. Like, say you buy an H110 motherboard and a G4560. They might not work right off the bat. You might have to do a BIOS update. To do a BIOS update, you're going to have a 6th gen chip to put in there. If you don't have that, then you're just shit out of luck. You're going to have to either buy another chip just to run the update, or send it back and get another motherboard. And nobody has time for that. So really, if you're going to buy, you know, a B250 or a H270, they're oftentimes right around the same price as this. This is unlocked. You can actually overclock the base clock on this. So the 4560 is locked, sure, but you can pump up the base clock and get a little bit more performance out of it. You gotta be careful. When you do base clock, it overclocks everything, which could end up overheating everything and causing a lot of problems. If you're not comfortable with overclocking, do not do it, but you can. For the testing, I didn't do it, but I did play around with it a little bit outside of it, and I confirmed that with this particular motherboard, you can do it, which is pretty cool. The 960 I picked because, honestly, I would never, ever suggest anybody buy the RX 460. I think it is a waste of money. It's $100, but it's junk. It really is not that great. The GTX 1050 is a better card. It's almost as good as the 960, but the 960 you can buy used for about $10 or $20 cheaper. Obviously, the downside of that is you're not going to get the warranty they're going to get with the 1050, and that sucks. But it's a little bit cheaper, and it does run a little bit better. If you do have wiggle room in your budget and you're willing to go a little bit higher than the $500 limit, obviously I'm going to say the 470 is the budget king right now. Or the 1050 Ti or the 3GB GTX 1060. They're all great cards. Also keep in mind, very soon AMD is coming out with a refresh, 560, 570, 580, and Vega's coming out, but Vega is not a budget card at all. The point of this one is more or less you've got the option to eventually put a K-series, 7700K in here. You could put a 7600K in here, and you can overclock the crap out of it. The case is good enough to where you can put water cooling in it. You can't do anything spectacular. It's not the greatest case, but it is also a $50 case, and it's worked great for me. I had an H100i in this particular case, and it wasn't rated for it, but I was able to jerry rig it onto the top slots here, and it did work. Supposedly it's non-compatible, but you can make it work. And if not, I mean, just get a smaller radiator and it'll go on the back. Whatever you want to do, or just stick with air cooling. It doesn't matter. You do you, boo-boo. So, conclusion, for $500, this thing's really great. It's got a lot of performance. The $65 processor is just outrageous. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on this, comparing it to the old G3258. 3258, obviously I'm going to be having it overclocked significantly and compare it to this. I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube of people doing that already, but you know, I want to do my own tests and I want to show you my results. I'm not saying that people are doing them wrong or they're faking their results or anything. It's just, you know, the more data for the pool, the better. It's always better to have more information. So, let me know what you guys want to see. Do you want to see more builds? Do you want to see me change the cases, modify the cases? Do you want me to compare old tech? Do you want to do purely used builds, new builds, mixed builds? Let me know. I've been doing computers for 20 years now. I've been playing around with computers, building them and taking them apart and having a good time with them. I read this junk every day, so granted, I'm a random guy on the internet. I mean, fuck me, right? Let me know what you want to see. I really want to make this whole YouTube thing work out. Not necessarily, you know, saying I want to buy a mansion out of it. It's just I enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun. I love building these computers and testing them and everything and seeing my own results. So let me know what you want to do, and I'll start making the videos. All right, that should be it for now. Hit me up in the comment section, and you know what to do with the likes and stuff. See ya.